Hey there, and welcome back to Gearhead Plays Through The Lord of the Rings, the Living Card Game, the Saga Edition, which takes you through the actual books, The Lord of the Rings. Today we begin Chapter 7. Chapter 2, though, of The Road Darkens expansion. Last time we completed our run through the wargs to the doors of Durin and defeated the Watcher in the Water. Today we will encounter the depths of Moria, including famous places like the Chamber of Mazarbul, the Great Bridge, which has a special ability that helps you kill the Balrog later on, and the Balrog. This is probably one of the cards whose artwork I'm not the happiest with. It just looks too blurred. I wish it was a little more defined. It just doesn't do a good job of capturing the Balrog for me. It's one of those rare instances where I think that this game gets it wrong. This is technically Chapter 5, Journey in the Dark, but I say Chapter 7 because we played two Gen Con-only expansions for this particular type of run-through campaign. You were playing campaign mode, shuffle the Burden, Treachery cards, Pursued by the Enemy, and Shadow of Fear into the encounter deck. Add the Burden objective cards, Grievous Wound, and Overcome by Grief, to the staging area. So here we see Shadow and Flame. It has a really nasty effect by blanking your text on your cards, on your character cards, so their abilities don't come into play. And we also see Pursued by the Enemy, which allows engaged attackers to attack instantly, which can be very dangerous. We also get the keyword Archery, which will force me to set 2 damage, or distribute 2 damage to my characters, amongst my characters. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it accumulates every round, 2 damage going out. So I'll want to kill them off when I can. If you remember from last time, Pippin got Valiant Warrior, and he's doing well with that, so we're keeping him with it, of course. We are using the new edition of Frodo, who allows me to cancel attacks. This is very important when engaged with the Balrog. Arwen continues to have Noble Hero. I get to start with 2 of my boon cards in hand. Sting will go with my Caldara deck because it has better resource generation initially. And Mithril Shirt will go with my Hobbits. Again, both of these are keyed to the Ringbearer, Frodo. The other 2 cards, Andoril and Glamdring, are in my Caldara deck because of its card draw and resource capabilities. So we'll get started here. The Long Dark of Moria. Trapped inside the mines of Moria, the Company of the Ring must find their way through the many twisting passages to reach the eastern door. But with every step taken into the mines, there's the growing sense of dread. Set the Balrog, the Great Bridge, and the Chamber of Mazarbul aside out of play. Add Doom, Doom, Doom to the staging area, and place 10 damage tokens on it. Each player adds 1 different location to the staging area. Doom, Doom, Doom. Forced at the end of the quest phase. Remove 1 damage token from Doom, Doom, Doom. Then, if there are no damage tokens here, add the Balrog to the staging area. At the end of the quest phase, the Balrog makes an attack if able. So he can make 2 attacks once he comes into play, while Doom, Doom, Doom is, well, it's the objective card for the game, so we really have to be careful. I have a feeling our chump blockers are going to have a bad day. It is a timer, basically, that forces the Balrog into play after so many rounds. Usually that's around 7 or 8, and I'll explain why. Well, first of all, the 2 locations I picked. Many Pillared Hall. I picked it, yes, it has 6 traveling points necessary. It only starts with 1 threat. It gains a threat for every additional Many Pillared Hall in play. I don't have to do anything to travel to it, so that helps. Ancient Guard Rune has 3 threat. It has the ability, though, that when it's the active location, my enemies get -1 attack. Well, so that's really good. But to travel there, I have to discard the top card of the encounter deck to travel there and raise my threat based on whatever threat is revealed there. I chose that one because, yeah, I might face a lot of attackers. I think lowering their attack is going to be crucial, especially early on. And now we go to the Long Dark of Moria, the flip side of Quest Stage 1. There were not only many roads to choose from, but there were also many places and pitfalls and dark wells beside the path in which their passing feet echoed the Fellowship of the Ring. Forced, after a player optionally engages an enemy, remove 1 damage token from Doom, Doom, Doom. So that becomes an issue as the hobbits are very low threat. I've set up already ahead of time, so off we go. I look at my hand here for my Caldara deck. I did get Narya. That's important. I also got Elven Light, which gives me something to discard. I have 2 copies of Treebeard. That's useful as well. We draw 2 cards. We get an Imladris Caregiver and a Test of Will, which is always a good card to have because this will allow me to stop damage. Now I have to discard a card, so I will discard Elven Light to this simply because it's a free discard and that's extra card draw for me. Narya requires 2 resources to get into play. Frodo is kind of nice in that I can spend a ring token and exhaust him to defend an attack, and the attack does no damage, but it raises everybody's threat by 2. So I want to build up some resources on Frodo to start. But again, I have Arwen's ability that allows me to discard a card to give her an extra resource. So since I have 2 copies of Treebeard, I will discard a copy of Treebeard to gain another resource with Arwen. I will spend 1 from Caldara and 1 from Arwen to attach Narya to Círdan. So Círdan now has his card in play. Caldara allows me to bring in allies from the discard pile who are spirit allies. I have none to throw out there. I don't want to spend my 2 resources to play Sting at this point. I want to keep 1 around in case I end up having to use Test of Will, and I want to keep 1 on Frodo, so that will be all that I do with my Caldara deck. I draw a card for my Hobbits. My Hobbit deck did not really get a good draw to start. Yes, I have a couple of feints which discard attacks. I have Drinking Song so I can redraw, but I'll start with Daren's Runes. Daren's Runes allows me to draw 2 cards and to discard 1. There's my Steward of Gondor. That's what I need. What am I going to discard, though? That is the question. Well, I think I'm going to start by discarding Robin Smallborough. He's kind of nice, but I don't need him instantly. Looking at what I've got in play, I think we're going to have to spend, since I do not have a Gaffer, I'm going to spend the 1 from Pippin to attach Mithril Shirt to Frodo. Frodo is now a 2/1/3 character as a defender, and he has 3 hit points. I have nothing else I can really do at this time. I at least have Feint in play, so I can cancel an attack if needed. So we go straight to questing. Well, we're going to go with, we have 4 threat up there, so we go with Círdan for 4, and Arwen for 8, 11, and 13. Not my greatest questing start, but we'll manage. Alright, so we draw our first encounter card. Deep Fissure. Peril. Remove a character you control from the quest and discard the top card of the encounter deck if the character is printed with the printed questing is less than the discarded card's threat. Discard the character. Well, I think we'll go ahead and remove Sam from the quest with 3. He's pretty safe. And we get nothing. So that was a good idea. But that reduces my questing now to 8 10 over 4. Not what I really want, but such as it is. Pull the next one. Doomed 2. They are coming. Gotta love the artwork again. When revealed, shuffle the encounter deck and discard pile into the encounter deck. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until X enemies are discarded. X is the number of players in the game. Add each enemy discarded this way to the staging area. That's unfortunate. But I think we'll take it because there are worse cards, and I'm not going to play the discard stuff at this point. We're going to get 2 enemies, and we're probably not going to be able to pull them down without pulling Doomed off of there. So we start discarding cards. We get an Uruk from Mordor. When revealed, Uruk from Mordor makes an attack against the first player. So he comes down and makes an attack instantly against this group. That's really unpleasant. With 4 attack, he could kill Caldara, so I think we're going to defend with Frodo. He gets a shadow card and we discard it. We're going to spend the resource and exhaust the ring to cancel the damage, and then the Uruk of Mordor goes back to the top. Second, we look for our second enemy. We discard a Deep Fissure. Cave Troll, that's bad. Cannot have attachments. For each point of excess combat damage dealt by Great Cave Troll, remove 1 progress from the current, and he's got 3 threat. He does 6 damage and has 4 defense, so he's pretty painful. I think I made a mistake. Oh, well, I shuffled it back in, didn't I? I'm going to have to shuffle again. I think I should have added Doomed 2. So yeah, 2 additional so the hobbits go to 22. My Caldara go to 31. Threat. I add 2 threat to each. So that leaves me with 10 over 9. I get to put 1 here. And then I've got to travel. I'm going to travel to the ancient guard room. We get a Mines of Moria. Mines of Moria. While Mines of Moria is in the staging area, progress must be placed on the Mines of Moria before it can be placed on the current quest. That limits my ability to travel, but again, it's not as bad as it could be. So looking at what I have, I think the question is, do I want to, I lose 1 Doom token. Do I want to lose a second one and get some threat out of the area there? Looking at what I've got, I have 4, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if I ready Sam. 6 over 2 almost is enough to kill the Uruk from Mordor. So we're going to go ahead and do it. We will bring down the Uruk of Mordor. Discard. Or do I want? Yeah, discard that so I can at least engage with him. That will ready Sam. That will also allow me to draw a card, which is important. The question is, how do I want to defend it? I think we go ahead and spend the 1 from Mary to play Feint, which cancels his attack. And then I am able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage back to him, which puts 4 damage on him. He's not dead yet. He can take 5, but that's a good amount. It also lowers the threat that I've got in upstairs here. So, and we still have not had to deal with Grievous Wound or Overcome by Grief, and that ends my turn. So we go to ready, 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 ready. Threat, we go to 32 with Caldara, 23 with my hobbits. Frodo shifts over here. and go. So round 2, deal out some resources. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Dealing with my hobbits first, we draw a card. Well, the first things we need to do is we have got to get Steward of Gondor out on Pippin. We will go ahead and use it. So that will give him 2 more. Looking at what else I have, I can get a chump blocker out there by putting that. And then I think we have to use, so we get out Hennemarth River Song. And we're going to play Drinking Song. This will allow me to shuffle and redraw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. So what I do is I have to seed these back in. And then I'm going to give it a quick shuffle. Drinking Song is one of those cards that it's often useful. Simply because if I don't have what I need, it allows me to possibly redraw and get it. And secondly, later in the game, if I'm just looking for more things to put out, it can really be useful. So we shuffle, do a cut, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I had 5 cards in hand, plus 1 because of Drinking Song allows me to draw 6 cards. And still, I did not get what I needed. Possibly interesting. Well, we'll go ahead and play the Shire Folk, which will allow me to lower my threat to 19. Down from 23. And then I can play Resourceful, Secrecy 3. So it costs me 1. I can get that out of play. And where do I want to put it? I think I need the resources over here right now, so we're going to put it over there. I also have a Dagger of Westernez, which will go on Mary eventually, but I also got Raise the Shire, which will allow me to go ahead and get Gaffer Gamgee. All right. I also may have another The Shire Folk, so I may as well play it, which lowers my threat to 15. And you go, well, don't I want my threat higher so I engage enemies? With the hobbits, you always want a lower threat. All right, so we've got that. Over here, Resourceful, attached hero collects 1 during the... Okay, so I didn't have it in play yet, so he doesn't collect it yet. First things first, we use Arwen to spend a resource to get Elven Light back to my hand, to draw 2 cards then with Círdan's ability. And we discard Elven Light to that. Looking at my hand. Well, we're going to discard Imladris Caregiver because the only way to get it into play is from the discard pile to give Erwin her card back, or her resource back. Wow, this is tough. I am not getting what I need. So, wow. Do I go big with Treebeard? I think we do. I put myself at risk here of not having the resources I want later on, but I need to get some allies in play, and Treebeard is a big one. He can possibly soak damage. Unfortunately, he can't have attachments. That leaves 1 on Caldara, and we're done. Struggling to get my decks going today. All right. To do some stuff. Questing. We're going to send Sam for 3, Pippin for 2, that gives me 5. Arwen for 4, that gives me 9. I have 6 up there. I've got to do Círdan. Well, I could do Caldara and Treebeard instead. And use Narya to ready it. That would give me 8 and 5, 13. over 6, which gives me 7. Yep, that's what I can do. 7. So over here first, we get Fool of a Took. Doomed 1. Remove 1 damage from Doom, 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 or the Balrog makes an attack if able. I think we'll go ahead. See, some of these are just a pain. We remove another one from Doom, Doom, Doom. We raise everybody's threat by 1. 16 for the Hobbits. 33 for the Caldara deck. Second card. And we cannot get out. These treacheries are annoying, but they're not adding threat to the top, so that's not a bad thing. Each player assigns X damage among characters he controls. X is the number of exhausted, so I would have to expend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh. I certainly could cancel it, and I think we will at this point. We will cancel it, spending my last resource in a test of will to ignore it. All right, so we have 6, we have 8, and 5, 13. So that gives me 7. Have to apply it to Mines of Moria first, and then Ancient Guard Room. So I did not get anything onto that, but I got rid of the 2 locations. So that's decent. We're surviving even though we don't have an ideal setup here. So now the question is, he can't come down yet. Do I leave him up there? Well, we're going to travel to Many-Pillared Hall. I think we'll just go ahead and leave him up there. That leaves me with the Uruk to deal with, because I did not engage on. I discard 1 from Doom, Doom, Doom. I'm down to 6 there. I could engage with Frodo. I still have the Feint. No, I don't have the Feint. That's right. And I didn't engage, so I can't use Raise the Shire either. So Frodo defends. The Uruk gets a shadow card. He gets attacking enemy, gets +1, so he would actually be at 5 over my 3. That would be 2 damage on Frodo. We'll just exhaust the ring and not take the damage. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 2. We kill the Uruk. Very nice. So we cleared it. Not as well as we'd wanted to, and we didn't take any damage. So we're at the end of the round. Ready, 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 ready. Threat, 17, 34. Go, round 3. 1, 2, 3 for Pippin as he uses Steward of Gondor. 1, 2, 1 for Frodo. 1, 2, 3. And that's that. We move Frodo over. Alright, so once again, we will spend Arwen's to pick up the Elven Light. Put that in my hand. And we draw 2 cards. Oh, beautiful. We discard Jubair to that. We discard a Northern Tracker to that. So that gives me that. And the question is, do we get rid of Caldara now or not? Those are 2 beefy allies I can get into play for her. Tough, tough, tough choices. That's the part about this game, is it really makes you think about your choices. So, I think we will. What we're going to do is spend 2 to put a Wild Stallion into play. Now that I've spent Caldara's resource, I don't feel so bad about discarding her. And then I will go and get Jubair and my Northern Tracker. And then I will pay 1 to put Hallberg of Mail on Jubair. And we will attach the Wild Stallion to Jubair. So now Jubair hits the table at 2, 4, 4 with 4 hit points. Plus he gets +1 defense from this, so he's a 5 defender. And when Círdan readies him with Narya, he becomes a 6 defender. I have somebody who can defend that stupid troll now. And that spends most of my resources there, so they are done. Coming over to the hobbits, I draw a card. Resourceful, we will attach that one to Sam at this point, so that he'll be getting some more resources. We're going to spend 1 to attach Dagger of Westernaise there, and we'll spend 2 to give Frodo Fellowship of the Ring, so all of my heroes now have +1 questing. That's really important, especially having lost Caldara. And that's all I can do with my hobbits. So we only have 3 threat up there. We really need to get some questing going on for the Long Dark of Moria. So Sam is going to quest for 4 because of Fellowship. Pippin for 3. So we're at 7. 5, we're at 12. 13, 14, 15 with Jubair, 16, 17, 18 with Frodo. Now I'm taking a chance here with Frodo, but I also still have Mr. Underhill to cancel attacks. So 18 over 3. We're going to get some big questing out there this round, we hope. Over here, they are coming. We're familiar with that. And I can't do anything about it this time. So 19, 36. We shuffle the discard and encounter deck back in together and reveal until we get 2 more enemies. Just what we did not want. At this point, anyway. It's not adding, well, it's going to add threat to the up there, unfortunately. And I'm going to have to do something. But the good news is, the Great Cave Troll is coming down. I have somebody who can block him effectively. All right, here we go. We start discarding. Looking for enemies. We need 2. We've got a Great Uruk. He attacks here. We will go ahead and discard Mr. Underhill to cancel the attack. And the next one, another Uruk. So we are going to use Narya to ready Jubair. So he'll be ready to go. Or I don't need to. No, we won't. We will intercept with Treebeard. And there's a reason why. The defending player raises his threat by 1 for each enemy engaged with him. I have nothing for shadow, so 4 over 3. Treebeard takes a damage. That's doable. The other Uruk, and he goes back up here. Now, I've taken a damage, so Grievous Wound. After a hero takes damage. After a hero takes damage. Okay, so none of my heroes have taken damage, so Grievous Wound and Overcome by Grief stay up there. So that means I had 18. Over 7 leaves me with 11. Many Pillared Hall goes away. So that's 11 minus 6. I get 5 more on the Long Dark. We are close. All right, so all 3 enemies are coming down. So it's going to end up like so. Because I'm not going to optionally engage, so I've still got 5 up there. Sam readies. I get to draw a card. I get to spend this now because I engaged to play Raise the Shire, which will then go and get me the Gaffer. Raise the Shire actually was useful because I engaged, I got to go get the Gaffer, and I got to draw a card. Yay! So the Gaffer hits the table. I can cancel that Uruk's attack. Dropping cards. And the Gaffer will go back to my hand, and he will be playable now. And until I encounter the Balrog, I will not have to worry too much, because Pippin has that in play. So we will ready Círdan. or Círdan will ready Jubair and Treebeard. I have 2 attacks to defend. This is going to be tough, but such as it is. So Jubair defends against the Cave Troll, and will deal out shadow cards. His is discarded. And Treebeard will defend the Uruk. The defending raises for each enemy engaged with you. Now I have to raise it by 2 because now I do have that. And Treebeard takes another damage. I have no one to attack back. That's going to be a problem. If I don't get some attackers, I have to keep defending. That could be ugly. Sam goes up here, or Gaffer goes back to my hand. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over 2. Gives me 4 damage again. Wait. No, I've got that. I kill him. Yay! 6, 7, 8 because of the Dagger of Westernays. All right. So we're at ready. Threat, go. Threat, we're back to 20 with the hobbits. Very rarely do you get to see me play 2 and 39 here. Frodo comes over. Been dealing out resources. Pippin gets 3. Sam gets 2. Merry gets 1. Frodo gets a second one. Arwen gets 1. And Círdan gets 2 because of resourceful. Alright, so looking at my hand over here, we're at round 4. We draw a card. Beautiful. 1, 2. For the Gaffer. 1, 2. Warden of Healing. I'm going to use them right away. Take a damage off of Treebeard. Thank you, Warden O'Healing. And that is all we can do with my hobbits at this point. Got a lot of resources, not a lot of cards. Over here, first things first. Do I have an Elven Light in here? I do not. So we draw 1, 2 cards. Discard an Elven Light. Alright. Well, we need these, so we're going to go ahead and do it. We play a very good tale. We're going to do these 2. Yeah, these 2. Oh wait, he shouldn't have taken a damage because his defense was 4 last round. 5 cards. 1, 2, 3. Very good tale. 4, 5 allows me to get out, if I remember correctly. Exhaust 2 allies, shuffle your deck. Oh, and discard the top. Well, that's okay. Put up to 2 allies discarded by this effect into play under your control. Total cost of the allies put into play cannot exceed the total cost of the allies. Okay. Kind of nice because we do get another Northern Tracker. And we will go ahead and take an Imladris Caregiver who allows me, or do I want the Sailor of Loon? I've got a Warden of Healing in play. I think we'll go ahead and go with the Sailor of Loon instead. The Imladris Caregiver allows me to discard cards to heal, but at this point, I really don't need that. All right. So you go, well, you've got all these. Remember, I've got Narya. I will be readying them. I was really hoping to get Imrahil, but he has not shown his face yet. All right. I think we kind of need to get Sting into play. I'm going to spend 2 and get Sting into play. Frodo may end up doing a lot more defending than I want. And that'll be it there. Not terrible, not great. Questing. We have nothing up there right now. We have enemies to deal with, but we're starting to look like we can possibly deal with them. So, questing. I do not believe that that gives him interceptability. So, over here, we really need Frodo over there. But Frodo over here will go questing instead. I have not lost a character yet. Oh, wait, did I? Yeah, I think Fellowship went away, or... I don't remember. I think I'll keep it in play. If I made a mistake, you guys can catch it. Frodo for 3, Sam for 4 is 7, Pippin for 3 is 10, 11, 12 questing over here, 16 questing over 0 is plenty. Starting over here, Mines of Moria. We know how that goes. Over here, Many-Pillared Hall. 16 leaves me with 13. 4 go on Many-Pillared Hall first, leaving me with 9. 9 and 6, 15. I get through stage 1. So, away goes the long dark. In comes Drums in the Deep. This can be bad at this time. When revealed, add Chamber of Mazarbul to the staging area. Chamber of Mazarbul. Immune to player card effects. The players cannot advance to the next stage. Travel. Each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a different enemy and adds it to the staging area to travel here. One of those enemies must be the Orc Chieftain if able. With 2 enemies over here that I have to deal with, I don't know if I'll deal with it. 9 questing to pass if there are no enemies in the staging area at the beginning of the quest phase. First player reveals an additional encounter card during the staging step. Players cannot advance until there are X resource tokens on this stage. X is the number of players times 3. After an enemy is defeated, place 1 resource token on this stage. So I need to kill 6 enemies before I can advance. We remove a Doom token. We are down to 4. We have 2 enemies to deal with here. We tap Círdan to ready Jubair and Treebeard. Jubair goes there. Treebeard goes there. Yep, because we don't want them killing my northern trackers. That's for sure. We deal out cards, 1, 2, according to threat order. Jubair discards his and returns. Tapped with his 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no damage. He just bounces off that. Gotta love it. And I have to stop for a moment, so this will be a 2-part video.